everybody, my name is Reagan May. Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a finance video. In today's video, we are going to be talking in a very casual way about my finances. We're gonna kind of talk about where I was and catch you guys up on what's been going on, and also where I'm at, and then kind of where I'm going and my goals for kind of this year, and also my August goals. I also want to show you guys an August budget. If you're new here, like I said, my name is Reagan and my channel is all about living life in my 20s, figuring it out, and my number one passion is personal finance. It is something that I have loved for so long. It is something that I feel like brings me peace, it brings me control, it brings me security, and it's something that I just love to do. So that is a lot of what my channel has been about. I changed my budgeting system up quite a bit, and I kind of wanted to show you guys how I break that down now. Yeah, that's kind of what this video is going to entail. I have not really planned for this video at all. I haven't really done much preparation because I just kind of wanted it to be like I'm talking to a friend about my finances. Thank you guys for clicking on my video. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you here. Without further ado, let's go ahead and just get into the video. The first little portion, I just wanted to kind of chat about why I've kind of been MIA with my financial videos, and honestly, I've been MIA doing it in my own life also. The last time I filmed a video, I don't know how long it was. If you guys want to go watch, I did budget with me's, plan my paychecks, what I spent and everything like that, and it's on my channel and everything. But I used to kind of do my system based on sinking funds. So I would plan our paychecks and I would put money into what I would call vaults in my savings account. And as I spent money, I pulled money from vaults. And so I had different categories like clothing and gifts, cars, gas, food, eating out, groceries, everything had its own category. I really liked that system for a long time because it really made me be accountable to what I was spending. Now, where this kind of got tricky was when I switched jobs. It just was not working for me, and I think that I also got burnt out. I feel like I got tired of doing my money. I got bored of financially tracking it. I felt like I was failing every month. I felt like I was going over budget every month. Going over budget every month can mean multiple things. One of those things meaning I'm having a lack of self-control, but another thing is that your system's just not working for you. Something in the system for multiple months in a row was not working for me, and I felt like I was constantly running out of my budget money, and I was pulling from my savings, and it was just a whole thing. With all that being said, I got really burnt out on all of it, and I kind of just stopped doing it altogether. I felt very I don't really want to do this. I kind of just want to get by for a minute. And I would say that kind of went on for a couple months. I still had my little savings goals that I was getting, but I would say that I was staying at a pretty even place, not really making much progress, but not really declining either for a couple months. And I don't think that it was necessarily bad, because I think that it gave me a much needed break and a fresh mind to kind of return and have this passion for it again. So I don't know if any of that made sense, but that kind of all happened. And then we had kind of decided in May that we were ready to pay off our debt. Now, we had $2,000 worth of consumer debt, and that was from a couch and from Best Buy, I believe. It would have been paid off in a year without interest, but those were just kind of sitting there. It was taking up about $300 of our income every single month. Now, I'm an advocate of not racking up consumer debt, and those two situations just happened very randomly. And it was one of the situations where we thought we were gonna get a bigger bonus, and then we didn't. And then I switched jobs and took a very decent pay cut, and everything kind of stacked on top of each other, where we were ending up paying the minimum payments, and they would have been paid off, but I was really tired of them being there. So that was there. And then we wanted to pay off Aaron's car and then my car also, everything but our mortgage. I just got to a point where I was so tired of paying these minimum payments on everything. I realized that our debt was taking up a very considerable chunk of our income. I mean, probably up to $1,000, and I only had about $200 to $300 left over every month, and that's if I didn't go over budget. Because of this pay cut and the combination of the debt, it was just this perfect storm. So I decided that in May, we were gonna do this. And we made really good progress in May. We paid off $2,000 of debt and we had a $2,500 savings account. And we were going to start in June to pay off Aaron's car. And then our house electricity, there was an accident where a tree fell on our electric pole. It ripped something open and a fire started, and it basically, the damage wasn't that bad, but we just bought this house, so we didn't know that much about it. And it turns out that everything was out of code. Our breaker box, our meter, our like everything. I don't even know all the stuff. I'm not gonna get into it, but everything was out of code. And we got quoted for a $3,500 electrical issue charge, basically. And we were kicked out of our house. Well, not really. We didn't have electricity for like 7 days. We were staying with my parents. We were trying to figure out how we were gonna pay this because we were on this track to pay off debt. And this happened and we didn't even have $3,500 in our savings. It was so hectic. We ended up getting it paid in full and we basically had $0 in our savings. That's where we were at. That happened at the very beginning of June. I think I hit an all-time low. We had about $200 in our bank account altogether. Vaults, checking, savings, everything. It made me realize more than ever how important it is to be like financially like forward looking. And I was so glad that I had that savings. I actually had thought like maybe I'll do it the Dave Ramsey way and just cut it to 1,000 and we can start paying off our debt. And something in me was like, I feel like the 2,500 is the new like 1,000. That's my opinion. Obviously I'm just a 23-year-old over here, but I had this gut instinct that 1,000 wouldn't be enough for anything. And so I kept that 2,500 there and I'm so happy. So all of these kinds of events made me get to this place where we basically had no money, but we had no consumer debt other than our cars. And I felt like it was a perfect time to kind of refresh everything. And so from that moment, we kind of made the goal of, okay, we want $2,000 in our savings by the end of the year and we want to start paying off this car debt. We want to get Aaron's car paid off first. We made this decision in June and we saved as much as we could. And currently it is July 30th. It's almost August. And we have $1,400 in our savings. And the goal is to have $2,000 by the end of the year. So we kind of had to decide whether we wanted to just save, and then pay off the car, or kind of kill two birds with one stone. So for the month of June, we completely saved all of our extra money. And then in the month of July, we also did that as well. Starting in August, you'll see in my budget, we're actually starting to split. And so it's gonna take a couple more months to get to the 2,000. I feel pretty comfy at 1,500. It's better than the 0 that I was at. We can just continue to save until the end of the year and then kind of re-establish. So that is our number one goal. I know that was long-winded, but the number one goal is to have $2,000 in our emergency fund by the end of the year. That sucks. I feel like we're like kind of starting over, but you do what you gotta do, and that's okay. I'm very grateful that I had that money there to spend, and now we have a brand new electrical system, which is amazing. The second goal, I've already said this multiple times, but is to pay off Aaron's car. Originally, backtrack to June, I had said that I don't feel comfortable putting all my money towards debt with no savings. And we said once we hit 15, we're gonna start directing most of our money towards the car. Aaron currently has $9,100 left on his car. His payment's only like $256, but I want that $256 back in my hands to decide what I do with it. So that is our other big financial goal. Now we have a really small financial goal, and that is to go to Greece in the next 2 to 5 years. It's very random, I know, but we have some family that just moved over there and they're gonna be there for 2 to 5 years, and it's something that we definitely want to do. But it's like a very like save $50 a month for. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot. I have one other goal that is in place already that is kind of gonna be behind the scenes. I'm not gonna mention it anymore. I want to pay off my house early, and so I started putting 10% towards our house payment, the principal. This means for us that we're putting an extra $126 or something like that towards our principal each month, and this will save us 7 years on our mortgage and $62,000. So that is something that is kind of going on in the background and is taking a little bit of our extra money, but it's something that I feel super, super good about. I kind of wanted to explain where we've been at through this time I've been gone, what's been going on, and kind of where we're at now. I feel a lot better with where we're at, and I feel like we've made considerable financial progress this year. We've paid off $2,000 of consumer debt. We paid $3,500 for our house, which is an investment, and we have saved $1,500, soon to be $2,000. That's a lot of money, and I feel very proud of the last few months and how we just kind of kept going through it. The next thing I kind of wanted to chat with you guys about is my new budgeting system. I'm not going to go super in detail because honestly, it doesn't matter all the intricacies of it, but the gist is I feel like my old system wasn't working for us. It was too detail oriented. It was taking too much time and attention on a bi-weekly, daily, whatever basis it was. I feel like I had to give a lot of attention to it. The first thing is that I wanted to open up my finances so that I had more freedom with my spending and less like detail oriented. You only have this much like for each category, and if you go over, your whole budget is like screwed. I wanted it more open, and so what I did was I made sure the first thing is that my goals are being met. That means the money is going to my mortgage, I'm paying off money on my car, and money is going to my emergency fund. So those goals are met. The next order of importance is my bills every single month. So obviously you have to pay your bills. And so what I did is I went out and I listed all of my bills that are a necessity. And this is everything that pretty much stays the same every month. You will see on here all the categories that I wrote down. I tallied up that amount. I made sure that those were being covered. And then from there, I have my variable expenses, and my variable expenses are pretty much a lot more open. I have a kind of baseline budget of like, this is around what I need every month for these things, but for the most part, it's more open to kind of spend how I want to spend. As long as I have my goals met and my bills paid, the variable expenses don't matter as much. I think we were being so strict on our spending, and it's just for the long term, it's not very doable in all honesty. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into the budget. I'm going to be looking on my laptop just right here. I'm in my spare bedroom that we are redoing right now. It's been super fun redoing this room. It's coming along really, really great. Let's kind of go into the budgeting template. There are a couple things I want to preface before getting into my budget. First thing, I am not going to be telling you how much we make, and I'm not going to be telling you how much we tithe. I honestly don't mind telling you how much we make, but then you can figure out how much we tithe. And it's something that I personally think is between us and God, and it's something that I don't want out there. I don't want other people to really know about it. So I'm keeping that to ourselves. The first thing, I'm just gonna go category by category. The first thing I will go over is bills and subscriptions. All of this stuff is everything that has to be paid basically every single month. There's not really much that I could like switch on this or take money out, or like, these are kind of the necessities of my life in my opinion. So we have Aaron's car, which is $256. We have Verizon, which is $100 for our part. I'm actually gonna put this up here so I can kind of just look. Mortgage is $1,553. That is with the extra payment. The next thing is electricity. It is around $150 every month. This one is the one that changes the most. So it can be anywhere from $50 to $180. I don't know what it's gonna be this month. I just kind of guessed at $150, but if it's more than that, that's okay. Water is actually $100 this month. I just got the bill for that. Or it's actually $90, so it's a little less. Tithing, I'm not gonna tell you. Atmos is $25, that's our gas bill. Our internet bill is $72. Our insurance for our car is $273. It's so expensive. I hate that bill right there. And then our Subaru, my car, is $469. So this is like my fixed expenses, I would call, and my bills for the month. So what I do with this whole thing is I take everything and I subtract my mortgage and my tithing from it, because that comes from its own check. So I subtract that and I get $1,445. So what happens is Aaron's second paycheck of the month, it's technically his second, he gets paid every other Friday. That will have $1,445 go straight into our savings, and that is where all of the bills are pulled from. And so then the next 4 weeks, $14,445 will go in there again, but that goes in there every single month and it runs on a monthly basis just like my bills do. So everything can get paid out of there and I don't really have to worry about my bills. They're all good. Everything comes out of there, and I really like that system because it's a whole category that I just don't even have to think about. So the next category is my expenses. Now, I have one expense on here because I actually bought some blinds for my house and it came from my August funds. I will pay it off 100%. Anyways, expenses are kind of these categories that are variable. They kind of change. Some of them are necessities, and in my opinion, these are the bare minimum that I want to pay for these categories. Again, this category as a whole, like the variable expenses, is kind of an open category, and I have about what I need for my basic expenses in there. But how I use that, like if I spend a little bit more on eating out and a little less on groceries, that's okay. It's the point of it is to be a little bit more open. A couple of these though are sinking funds, and I have them automatically withdraw into vaults, and I'll tell you which ones. The first one is gas. I have about 175 go in there. For me, that's average for what I need for gas in a month. Groceries, 225. We do try to really cut our grocery spending down to a bare minimum because groceries are so expensive and I want more money to pay off my car and stuff. So I kind of really try to keep this category down to a minimum. Car savings and gifts, I have 40 for car savings and 30 for gifts. These are actually sinking funds that I save into vaults. The next thing is eating out. I have around $75 for eating out. I have $75 for travel, also going to a sinking fund. This is for random travel. This isn't for like big trips or anything. This is like if we need to go somewhere for Christmas and people tell me like the weekend before. It's kind of negating those really quick trips that happen with family members that live out of town or something like that, or like weddings or stuff like that. Date night, I have $100. For me, this is something that I really value is date night, and I want enough money in there that I can really enjoy a good dinner, a movie, a concert, like a small concert. We like going to little Christian concerts. Home is $130. Normally I just save about $100 for home, and that actually goes into a sinking fund also, because if I don't spend it, I can save it and we can save for bigger ticket items. The next one, $15 for subscriptions, $200 for dogs. This is the last one that goes into a vault. Now this goes into a vault because I save for our dogs throughout the year. This is for a couple different things. This is for their food every single month, yearly vet visits and vaccines and like medications like their Tri-Heart and stuff like that. This is also for their grooming. And then from there, I have $270 for spending. Now, this is just whatever was kind of left over, and this is where I kind of mentioned it opens up a lot. I used to have categories like clothes, coffee, like Reagan spending and Aaron spending and stuff like that. And now I've just kind of lumped it all together. It kind of covers anything like clothes, shoes, Aaron getting snacks, me getting snacks, running to Allsops, like stuff like that. So like I said, it's a lot more open, and I'm a little bit nervous. This is the first month to try it, so we'll see kind of how it goes. But I feel like I've already felt a little bit of freedom within my spending. This totals out to $1,335, and this comes from Aaron's first paycheck. So his first paycheck actually will come in on August 7th this month. It changes the date every month, but it's every other Wednesday he gets paid. So every 4 weeks from this check, money goes into our checking account, and that is what covers all of these expenses. So $1,335, some of this will all obviously be pulled into vaults, but the other will just be there so that I can pay for gas and groceries and everything out of it, and that gets refilled on a month basis as well. Now, I really like splitting my bills and my other stuff because I feel like I was constantly having to think like, do I have enough in my checking account? Am I gonna like overdraw and pull money from my savings? Like, I hated that thought, and I feel like it kept me mentally thinking thinking about my finances a lot. And so I really love the separation right here. Obviously it's the first month, so I'm still working out the kinks and kind of everything like that, but I am really excited to do this plan. So that is that. The next thing that I have is my savings. So I have $100 being saved this month for Greece. Now that is because we are in a month of some overtime. So normally my base is $50, but I'm gonna save $100 from this month to go to Greece. And then I have $250 going into my emergency fund. That will get me up to, I think, $1,500, or I can't really remember exactly, but that will get me to hit my goal. From here on out, I'll just be putting 100 in there. The next category is my debt payments. So in here, we have my Best Buy payment of $50. We're just paying that off. We had to buy a laptop suddenly, right when all this stuff with my house happened. So we literally had no money and we had to get Aaron a laptop. It kind of sucked, but it's about $400 on there and we're just paying 50 bucks. It's no interest and I don't really mind that. I am not all about putting stuff on credit cards like that though. But again, I really want to get the car paid off more than I care about a stupid little Best Buy card. So the big ticket one is our car payoff is at $750 this month. So all of our debt payoff comes from what I earn. All of the other stuff comes from what Aaron earns, other than our mortgage, tithing, and debt payments. Like looking at this, I have $800 going to debt just right there. I have $350 more that I'm saving. So that right there is over $1,000 of extra income every single month. Whereas back in April and May, I only had like $300 extra a month because my budgeting system really wasn't working for me. And so that's what I feel like a new good budgeting system that works for you can do. I have opened up all of this money. We've gotten a few raises and we're in a little bit of an overtime season right now, but that is an incredible thing to me, like to be able to see that we are putting that much towards saving in debt. I love that. I love that so much. That is my budget right there. That is my budget for the month of August. I'm super excited about it. I am going to be doing a follow-up video about what I spent in the month of August and my new budget for September, and also kind of an update on how this is going for me and how it's working for me and stuff like that. Please like my video and subscribe, and I will see you guys, I guess, in another video. Bye.